When you learn to focus on yourself, you unlock a power that most people never discover. Too many times we give our energy to things that don't build us, to people who don't understand us, to noise that only distracts us. But when you stay silent, when you pull your energy inward, you begin to see how strong you really are. Silence is not weakness, it's discipline. It's the ability to say, I don't need to prove myself to anybody right now. I don't need to argue. I don't need to explain. I'm working in the shadows, and the results will speak louder than my words ever could. The world will try to pull you into battles that don't matter. People will test your patience, doubt your vision, and criticize what they can't understand. But every second you spend defending yourself is a second you could have invested in building yourself. Don't give your energy to what drains you. Protect your peace, protect your mind. When you focus on yourself, you grow in silence. You heal in silence. You build in silence. And then one day you show up and everybody sees the change. They'll wonder how you did it, when you did it, where you found the strength. But they won't know, because while they were talking, you were working. While they were doubting, you were believing. While they were making noise, you were making progress. Silence sharpens you, focus molds you, and when it's time to speak, when it's time to show the results of all your quiet work, the world won't just hear your voice, they'll feel your presence. People confuse silence with weakness, but silence is one of the greatest strengths you can carry in this world. The loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. The one who argues the most, shouts the most, or tries the hardest to be seen isn't always the one who wins. True power is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't beg for validation. It doesn't explain. When you are silent, you are in control. You choose where your energy goes. You choose what deserves your response and what doesn't. Silence is not giving up. It's knowing that not every battle deserves your presence. Sometimes the strongest move is to say nothing at all. Because when you answer every insult, every rumor, every distraction, you lose yourself in noise. But when you stay silent, you keep your focus. You protect your mind. You guard your peace. Think about it. A lion doesn't need to roar to remind the jungle who it is. A lion is feared in its silence, respected in its calm. It only roars when it's necessary. That's how you need to be. You don't have to respond to every doubt, every critic, every person who questions your work. You know who you are. You know where you're going. Let your silence remind people that your energy is too valuable to waste. Weakness is when you let people pull you out of character. Weakness is when you let them make you argue, when you let them distract you, when you let them dictate your emotions. But strength is standing tall in silence, unbothered, focused on your vision. Strength is saying, I don't need to fight small battles. I'm preparing for something greater. Silence is also where wisdom grows. When you stay quiet, you listen more, you observe more, you learn more. The one who talks the least often understands the most. While others are speaking just to be heard, you are silent, absorbing everything, turning knowledge into strategy and strategy into results. That's strength. Your silence is not weakness, it's confidence. It's saying, I don't need to prove myself. My results will prove me. My success will explain me. My presence will speak for me. And when the time comes to show the world what you've been building in the quiet, you won't need to say a word. They'll see it. They'll feel it. They'll respect it. Energy is the most valuable currency you have. More than money, more than time, more than anything else. Your energy is what determines the quality of your life. And yet most people spend it carelessly. They give it away to arguments, to negativity, to people who only drain them. And then they wonder why they feel empty, unmotivated, and stuck. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's survival. It's wisdom. It's the foundation of building the life you want. Every single day, something will try to pull at your energy. People will test your patience. The world will try to distract you. Doubt will whisper in your mind. And if you're not careful, you'll end up exhausted. Not because you worked on your vision, but because you gave yourself the things that never deserved you. You cannot fight every battle. You cannot answer every critic. You cannot fix everyone's problems. If you try, you will burn out before you even take one step toward your purpose. Protecting your energy means you choose carefully what you give yourself to. It means you ask yourself, is this worth my time? Is this worth my focus? Does this help me grow, or does it only drain me? Most of the time, the answer is clear. You just need the discipline to say no. And saying no doesn't make you cold. It doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you wise, because every no to a distraction is a yes to your future. Understand this. Energy flows where attention goes. If you give your attention to negativity, that's where your energy will live. If you give your attention to growth, progress, and self-improvement, that's where your energy will multiply. Protecting your energy is really protecting your future, because the small choices you make about where you focus will shape the life you live tomorrow. People will misunderstand this. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you're selfish. But remember, the same people who drain your energy will never understand why you're protecting it. You are not here to be available for everybody. You are here to build, to grow, to evolve. And you cannot do that if you are constantly pouring yourself out for those who only take and never give. Protecting your energy also means protecting your environment. Who you spend time with, what you watch, what you listen to, all of it affects you. Some people are like sunlight. They help you grow. Others are like poison. They weaken you slowly without you even realizing it. That's why you must be intentional about your circle, about your surroundings, about the input you allow into your mind, because what you allow around you eventually lives inside you. The truth is, energy is contagious. Spend time with motivated people, and you'll feel motivated. Spend time with complainers, and soon you'll complain too. That's why protecting your energy isn't just about blocking negativity. It's about feeding yourself with positivity, with ambition, with strength. It's about surrounding yourself with people who remind you of your power, not people who make you forget it. Growth is not loud. Growth is not always visible. Growth does not need to be announced. Real growth happens in silence, when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody is giving you recognition. The world celebrates the results, but it often ignores the process. And that's why most people don't understand the power of silence. Think about a seed. It goes into the ground, buried in darkness, unseen by the world. Nobody claps for it. Nobody praises it. Nobody even notices it's there. But while it's hidden, while it's surrounded by dirt, something powerful is happening. Roots are forming. Foundations are being built. Life is beginning. And then one day, after all that silent work underground, the seed breaks through the soil and reaches for the sky. That's growth. Silent, steady, unstoppable. That's exactly how you must treat your own growth. You don't need to post every step. You don't need to explain every move. You don't need to tell the world your plans before they're ready. Work in silence, build in silence, heal in silence, because the quiet seasons are the most important seasons of your life. In silence, you discover who you are. You face your weaknesses without shame. You fight battles that nobody knows about. You learn lessons that shape you forever. The silent seasons test you. They stretch you. They break you. They rebuild you. And even though nobody sees it, that's the growth that will carry you forward. Too many people want the spotlight before they've done the work. They want applause before they've developed discipline. They want recognition before they've built resilience. But that's not how growth works. If you rush to be seen, you risk being exposed as unprepared. But when you grow in silence, when you take the time to build your foundation privately, when you allow yourself to strengthen quietly, then when the world finally sees you, you'll be unshakable. Silence also protects your growth, because when you talk too much about your plans, you invite opinions, doubts, and negativity that can discourage you. Not everyone will support your vision. Not everyone will believe in your dream. And that's fine, because they don't have to. Your dream was given to you, not them. That's why growth in silence is powerful. You cut out the noise. You remove the distractions. You let your progress be your answer. Understand this. Silence is not hiding. Silence is strategy. It's preparation. It's focus. You are not avoiding the world. You are building yourself for the right moment to step into it. And when that moment comes, when you finally reveal what you've been working on, it will be undeniable. The people who laughed at you won't be laughing anymore. The ones who doubted you won't be able to deny you, because while they were busy talking, you were busy growing. While they were making noise, you were making progress. While they were watching others, you were sharpening yourself in silence. Growth happens in silence, because silence is where transformation begins. The world doesn't need to see your process. They'll see your results. And when your results show, they'll speak louder than any words you could have said. You don't need to explain yourself to everybody. You don't need to prove yourself in every conversation. You don't need to argue to defend, to convince people of who you are or what you're building. Why? Because results speak louder than words. And when your results show up, nobody can deny them.
The truth is, people will always have opinions. They will doubt you, criticize you, misunderstand you. If you spend your life trying to answer every critic, you'll waste the energy you should have used to build yourself. Talking is cheap. Words are easy. Anybody can say, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to reach my goals. But the real difference is made in the quiet grind, the unseen work, the discipline that nobody claps for. That's what produces results. And results are the loudest answer you can ever give.
Think about it. When you walk into a room, successful, confident, disciplined, your presence already speaks before your mouth even opens. Nobody can argue with proof. They may not like you. They may still talk about you, but they cannot deny what they see. That's the power of results. Results. Silence doubt. Results. Silence criticism, results. Silence excuses. Instead of spending your time trying to convince people, spend your time building yourself. Don't tell them you're disciplined. Let your results show it. Don't tell them you're growing. Let your results show it. Don't tell them you're focused. Let your results show it. Because when you do the work consistently, the evidence will be too clear to ignore. People respect results more than words. You can tell someone all day long that you're serious. But when they see your consistency, when they see your transformation, when they see the change in your life, they'll believe it. And not because you said it, but because you lived it. That's why you can't get distracted by noise. The critics will always be there. The doubters will always be there. But they don't matter. Your responsibility is not to answer them. It's to keep moving, keep working, keep showing up until your results become the only answer they need. Remember this. Results don't require permission. Results don't require approval. Results don't ask for recognition. They demand it. And when you produce results, even your enemies have to respect them. Even those who wanted you to fail will have to face the truth of your success. So stop talking so much about what you're going to do. Start doing it. Start building it. Start living it. Let your work echo louder than your promises. Let your progress scream louder than your explanations. Let your success make the noise that words never could. At the end of the day, nobody remembers what you said you would do. They remember what you actually did. They don't quote your excuses. They quote your achievements. They don't follow your words. They follow your results. There comes a point in your journey when you no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer need to tell people who you are, what you're about, or where you're going, because your presence alone carries the weight of your work, your discipline, and your growth. When you walk into a room, they can feel it. When you show up, they already know. That's the power of letting your presence speak for you. Presence is not about being loud. It's not about demanding attention. It's not about forcing people to notice you. True presence comes from within. It's the quiet confidence of someone who has paid the price in silence. It's the strength of someone who has built themselves when nobody was watching. It's the glow of someone who has endured the struggle, done the work, and risen above the noise. That energy cannot be faked, and it cannot be ignored. When you put in the work, your presence carries evidence. People see the discipline in your eyes, the determination in your posture, the strength in your spirit. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to argue about it. You don't need to convince anyone. They feel it the moment you arrive. That's when your presence becomes your introduction. Understand this, presence is not about showing off. It's about showing up as your best self. The hours you spent working in silence, the battles you fought in private, the sacrifices you made when nobody knew, all of it builds an energy that speaks for you. People may not know your story, but they'll know your strength. They may not see the details, but they'll sense the depth. That's presence. When your presence speaks for you, you don't have to chase respect. It comes naturally. You don't have to beg for recognition. It finds you. You don't have to fight for validation. Your presence demands it without a word. This is why you cannot waste time on proving yourself to people who don't matter. If you stay focused, stay consistent, and stay disciplined, your presence will do all the proving for you. Presence is also a reflection of alignment. When your words, your actions, and your results all match, you become powerful without even trying. People trust you because they can feel the authenticity. They believe in you because they can see the consistency. They follow you because your presence carries the weight of your journey. But presence doesn't come overnight. It's earned. It's built day by day, choice by choice, sacrifice by sacrifice. It's the product of growth in silence, of protecting your energy, of focusing on yourself when nobody was paying attention. That's why presence is so powerful, because it's not manufactured. It's forged in real experience. One day you won't have to say a word. You won't have to argue. You won't have to defend yourself. You'll simply walk in and people will already know what you stand for. That's the moment your presence becomes undeniable. So don't rush to be heard. Don't beg to be seen. Don't try to prove yourself with noise. Keep working, keep growing, keep building, because if you do, your presence will one day speak so loudly that you won't need to say anything at all. When you give your full attention to yourself, when you decide to turn away from distractions and put your energy into your own growth, you start to notice something powerful. Change begins to happen. Transformation is not a sudden moment. It's a process, a daily commitment, a quiet discipline that slowly reshapes you into a stronger, wiser, and sharper version of yourself. Most people never see their own potential because their focus is scattered. One day they're chasing approval. The next day they're caught in arguments. The next day they're lost in comparison. And while their energy is being drained by the outside world, their inner world stays neglected. But the truth is simple. Whatever you focus on, you feed. If you keep feeding the noise grows. If you keep feeding negativity, it multiplies. But if you focus on yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit, then growth becomes inevitable. Think of focus as a magnifying glass. When sunlight is scattered, it warms the ground, but nothing changes. But when that same sunlight is focused through a lens, it has the power to start a fire. That's what happens to your life when you take all your scattered energy and direct it toward building yourself. The heat of your discipline ignites transformation. Suddenly, you're no longer who you used to be. Your habits shift, your mindset sharpens, and your future starts to look completely different. Transformation doesn't always happen in the spotlight. Most of it happens in silence when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody is encouraging you. It's in those moments of focus, early mornings, late nights, quiet hours, that you build the version of yourself the world will one day admire. People will see the results, but they will never see the hours you put in. They'll see the glow, but not the grind. They'll see the transformation, but not the focus it required.
That's why you must guard your focus like it's treasure.
Because it is. Every distraction you allow into your mind is stealing a piece of your growth. Every time you give your energy to drama, to negativity, to endless scrolling, you rob yourself of transformation. And the saddest part is many people don't even realize they're trading their future for temporary noise. But when you learn to protect your focus, transformation becomes unstoppable. You begin to outgrow old habits. You stop needing validation. You stop chasing what doesn't matter. You start to carry yourself differently, speak differently, think differently. You notice strength where there used to be weakness. You notice peace where there used to be restlessness. You notice clarity where there used to be confusion. That's what focus does. It clears the fog and shows you who you are meant to become. The greatest gift you can give yourself is focus. Not on what others are doing, not on what they're saying, but on your own path. When you pour your energy into becoming the best version of you, transformation is not a possibility. It's a promise. And when that transformation shows, nobody will be able to deny it. So stay focused. Block the noise. Guard your energy. And watch how your silent discipline turns into undeniable transformation. There comes a time when you won't need to explain yourself anymore. You won't need to prove yourself, defend yourself, or argue with people who never believe in you. Because your presence, your results, your growth, your transformation will do the speaking for you. When you choose silence and focus, the world might misunderstand you. They may think you've disappeared. They may believe you've fallen off. They may assume you've given up. But what they don't realize is that you're building in the shadows. You're sharpening your mind, strengthening your spirit, and preparing for the day when your progress is undeniable. Presence is powerful because it carries an energy words cannot capture. When you walk into a room after you've been building yourself in silence, people feel something different. They may not know exactly what changed, but they know something has shifted. That's the power of unseen work. That's the reward of discipline. Nobody else witnessed. Understand this. The loudest voice in the room doesn't always carry the most weight. Noise fades, opinions fade, but presence, the way you carry yourself, the growth you've earned, the discipline you've mastered, speaks long after the talking stops. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how your presence made them feel. This is why staying silent while you build is so powerful, because eventually you don't have to announce what you've been doing. You don't have to argue with doubters. You don't have to clap back at critics. Your life becomes the announcement. Your results become the response. Your presence becomes the proof. Think about the greats. They didn't spend their time convincing the world of their worth. They didn't fight with every critic or beg for approval. They stayed committed to their vision, and eventually their presence made the world pay attention. People couldn't ignore them anymore because the transformation was too obvious. The results were too strong. The discipline was too visible. That's what will happen for you when you choose to stay focused and silent. At first, people may overlook you. They may underestimate you. They may even laugh at you. But when your time comes, when your preparation meets opportunity, when the transformation inside you finally shows outside you, silence will no longer be possible. Your presence will be louder than any words you could have spoken. And the beauty of this is that presence requires no effortful explanation. You don't have to beg people to see your growth. They'll notice it in the way you speak, the way you move, the way you carry yourself. They'll notice it in your discipline, your consistency, and the results that follow you. It won't just be about what you do. It will be about who you've become. So stop worrying about who doubts you. Stop wasting time trying to convince people to believe in you. Your job is not to prove them wrong. It's to prove yourself right. And when you do, your presence will silence every doubt, every criticism, every rumor, every question. Because at the end of the day, presence is louder than noise. Results are louder than excuses. Growth is louder than opinions. And when you finally show up as the version of yourself you've been building in silence, the world won't just hear you, they'll feel you. So stay focused, stay silent, keep building in the shadows. And trust is true. One day your presence alone will speak for you, louder than anything you could have ever said.